When we return to our planet, the High Court may well sentence you to torture.
He likes movies, we like movies. Septum Sin versus the world. Septum Sin versus the world. Septum Sin versus the world. Septum Sin versus the world.
I'd buy that for $1.
Greetings! You're watching Septum Sin vs. the World. I'm Septum Sin. This is Kotobuki Jake.
Hi.
And we're here to show you what we got.
Indeed.
Show me what you got. I want to see what you got. Oh boy.
Alright, well, I guess I've got like a ton of awesome this time. So, I will let you...
I have a little bit of very nice. So, my stuff, I don't have anything too awesome. I have a really great pickup ready for next week, but it hinges on an order that had not yet arrived. So, next week. But, this will basically be going into my stash of library pickups. And most of these are pretty notable. First up, I have an adaptation of the Neil Simon play, The Goodbye Girl, with Richard Dreyfuss and Marsha Mason. Who else is in there? Well, I guess they're the main cast, aren't they? So it's... yeah, that's pretty much what it is. I've heard about this for a long time. I've heard it's good. I always liked Richard Dreyfuss. He's pretty good. Actually, he won the Oscar for this one. Yeah, that's right. So I have to get this one. Yeah. So it's good times.
Oh, so it's on my list too then, if that's an Oscar winner.
Yes.
Oh my.
And Neil Simon's screenplay deftly combines Battle of the Sexes appeal with an off-Broadway subplot whose scenes are, quote, the funniest since Mel Brooks staged Springtime for Hitler, according to Roger Ebert.
Really?
So that's interesting. I'll have to see
It doesn't look funny on the cover. My first one is one I've been trying to get out for a long time. It's part 2. Well, so many of you remember when I did an episode where I had said, where I created this. The Out and About in the movie. I did my own little creation of it. My wife did the cover. She's awesome with that. And, you know, you can see how detailed that is. And then I had made a statement. I would gladly give X amount of dollars. You have to look at the video to know exactly what I said. In order to get a legit copy. Because I hate having a non-legit copy. I have the sequel of this. And it just bugs me that I have the sequel, yet I cannot get a hold of a copy of the original. Even to this day, they're extremely hard to track down. So, Wet Movie One himself had watched the video. And this is what this is. It's about Wet Movie One and his adventures in Vegas, much as the sequel is. And he said, so you serious about that? I'm like, yeah, dude, I am serious. He says, I'll tell you what, you give me that, I will produce another run of these for you. And for whoever else will want them. And I'm like, heck yeah, let's hook it up. So we went back and forth for about 2 weeks. And then he finally said, okay, I've got the people contacted, go ahead and send me the money, we'll get this thing running. And after many, many weeks, we have a legit second edition, but still a legit edition of Out and About the movie. You can see there's kind of a not that much of a difference. Of course, not a difference much in the front, but in the back, definitely a difference. And this one has different special features on it, but also it's pretty cool because we have these. This actually is different from the original printing, because they did not have disc art on the original printing, but this one does. This is one of the rare 2-disc editions. And he even wrote me a little note. It said, Brandon, enclosed is your copy of original Out and About movie, 2-disc edition. Thank you so much for your support and helping me get these DVDs made. You are the coolest. Your friend Brendan Mitchell, a.k.a. Wet Movie 1.
Cool.
I gotta say, I've always loved the stuff that he does online. I got originally introduced through watching Cool Duder, and then I started gravitating more towards his, I'll admit, because of he does a lot of other cool stuff on the side. Cool stuff through Vegas. He meets a lot of stars. He actually did something with Marianne from Gilligan's Island last time, and the girl from American Pie, and gosh, what is her name? It starts with a T.
Tara Reid or
Tara Reid, yes, Tara Reid. So, and he's done several things with Tara Reid, so that's pretty cool. So, there's a lot of cool stuff about this. If you want to know more, I have a review filmed and ready to go coming up Thursday. So, that's tomorrow by your time. So you should check that out.
Check it out.
And if you can, check out his site. Right now, he is selling both of them. You can get them both together for, I think, $40 or something like that, which is not bad if you think about it, because there's very few of these remaining. And once they're gone, they're gone. And trust and believe, when they sell, they disappear. They don't go up on eBay or anything. The people who buy these to keep them. So
Cool.
definitely get a hold of one if you want one. Like yesterday.
So, speaking of the movies of yesterday, or a little bit older than that, I have a Fred Astaire and Ginger Rogers film called Follow the Fleet. This one also got some other folks in it. Music by Irving Berlin, of course.
High quality stuff.
This is an old movie, 1936, according to this. I need to see more Astaire and Rogers. I've seen very little of their stuff. I saw the opportunity. I was like, I gotta pick that up.
Yeah, that is cool. That is really cool. This next one is also a big milestone. We showed this last time when I got it, which was the Sailor Stars set,
Yep.
part 1. Now, why am I bringing this back? Well, I think we need to go on a little Sailor Moon journey. So, hello, fans. If you haven't seen my little disruptor right here, yeah, that's right. That's right, Anderson. This guy here, he's the one who ends up messing with our videos. He's upset because I'm not letting him get high right now. I know. You like getting high. Alright, you go on ahead. You go get high. In case, today we're talking Sailor Moon. As I talked about on the pickup, I wanted to go through this. It's a big thing, but because Kotobuki Jake and I have limited time to film, I went ahead and said, I want to do this right, so I'm going to do this here and now. So I'm just going to go through what my collection of Sailor Moon entails. Now I have my little Luna plushie, but you've seen it on the cover of the last vlogcast with holding the knife on Kotobuki Jake. But I haven't gone over a lot of my library. So what I want to talk about is just the Sailor Moon collection, because it's pretty much complete. There are some exceptions. I'm going to talk about that, or actually one exception. And I'm going to talk about that now. And that is for a series called Pretty Guardian Sailor Moon Crystal. Now, this is Season 1. And again, you can see this beautiful job that Viz did on this. I actually think that they did a better job on these releases than they did on the main series releases. Very cool looking box art. Just in general, this is a really awesome thing. This was the series they decided to release around the time that Sailor Moon, it's like, heck yeah, we're getting really good releases, we're getting the original series re-released, and we're getting new stuff. This is the original series, Season 1. This is probably the lowest quality of the ones out there. I kind of started watching it as it came out. And I was like, I mean, it's supposed to be close to the manga, and in ways it is, and in ways it isn't. But then I got to this season, when I got to season 2, and this is where it all changed quality-wise. It just really became the good quality show that we have come to like when it comes to Crystal. Again, I love the quality on this. I mean, it's just artwork, everything, just awesome quality overall. Then, of course, season 3, which I haven't watched all of. I'll admit I kind of got off the rails with it, but this is where they kind of ended it, and this is where I get to my point of, well, what is missing? There's going to be a Crystal movie to cap off these 3 series starting next year. Now, that's going to be really exciting for me. I really want to see it in theaters if I can. I'm going to rewatch all of Crystal beforehand, get to theaters, see it, and I'm hoping for a really cool release to match these really awesome looking release boxes. So let's get on to the main series, the thing that has completed. We'll see what my complete selection looks like. There are a couple of flaws, and we're going to start with this flaw, which is my Sailor Moon box set 1. This is season 1. As you can see, this is very, very bare bones. This is a bootleg. I used to collect more bootlegs in the past, but I've been trying to be more legit, so I've pretty much excised most of them. There's a video we did a while back on bootlegs. You should be able to type in Septum Sin versus the World bootleg or something like that and you'll find it. But this is one of the few I have and I'm keeping for a while because I really have nostalgia for the original dub. And out of what I've got, I am missing this one and another season in the, not in the legit release, in the legit old school dub release. And you'll find out more as I go. So here is the first season ADV released. Unfortunately, this is the sub only. It's got these giant mega boxes. Again, I really love the boxes. I love the art, which is why I'm keeping them. I mean, it even has the little episode guides on the back. And this is really cool. I mean, it really is. And is well worth keeping. It's unedited. It is in its purest form. And for a while, it was the only time you could get it unedited. Now, Pioneer did the edited English release, which is in there, but it is super rare and super expensive and super hard to find. If I ever find it, that's going to be there. That's pretty much my holy grail. Season 1 and R on DVD, the old DIC dub Pioneer release. That is my holy grail one day. So, of course, now we have the new releases of the season. It's only one of the new releases I've actually opened and watched. It's because I've seen the whole thing before. And it's got some pretty cool stuff in it. It's got, you know, your book. See if I can get through here with the light. And the episode guide. And of course, there's a box here which will be a placement for the second parts, which I have actually here. Which again, unopened. And I got a whole bunch of gifts with purchase. I just don't have them available to show right now. I mean, one of them's in that box because I ordered a lot of these on Right Stuff when they came out. They all came out with gift with purchase. Again, it's cool to have it on a re-release. It's cleaned up. It's got a new dub, and the dub track is well done. But I miss the camp. I admit, I miss the camp. So technically, these would render this invalid. Not as much this, because, again, this dub is not available on anymore. So, but this, I mean, this is the same as this, with just putting it with the sub. But I like that set. I'm just keeping it. There are occasions where I will collect multiples of a thing. this is one of those occasions. Sailor Moon is a lot of my anime growing up. It means a lot to me on a personal basis, so it's got to be that way. So of course, Ara, in my bootleg. There's only one more boot I have of the series after this, and we'll talk about that as well. But you can see, Ara has been released on that, but that's not the really cool one. Of course, they had the companion set. They look really cool together. You can see the set here. And I really feel like R is where the series really did go up in scale. I think that is just for both of these series, it went up in scale quite a bit. So, of course, this is the newer release of that. Again, the artwork. I feel like the artwork here is more minimalistic. I mean, if you compare the two, I mean, this is just superior in every way, I think, quality-wise. But still, great to have it. And of course, Ara, the second part, which they'll eventually end up there, and all the little insert boxes will end up going in my storage for all the extras. So this is the first time that they started doing a movie, and they have a theatrical release. I kind of wish I had the box that went around the three of these, because there was one, which was pretty cool. But I do have this with the original dub and the original sub. So this is really, I guess, one of the older of the original dub I have on legit release. So that is hard to get these days. This is the one they released on Blu-ray. I really do look forward to seeing this one on there. I saw it in theaters, so it was just really cool to see it back in theaters, back out and about. I gotta move these. Alright. You'll have to see me get up in a minute when I have to get S, or stars. So let's talk about S. Now we get to where I have legit copies of the dub, and they started doing them uncensored dub and sub, and that is Sailor Moon S. Now there are different versions of this that was released, but this is the ones I have were the individuals. So you've got Pluto on the cover, it looks like there. Yeah, Pluto on the cover for S. You got the outer ones all together. You've got, of course, Sailor Moon, Chibi Moon, Mars and Venus, and of course that's a pretty cool one at the end. I really like this one. This one was one of the darker storylines. Again, they knocked it out of the park with Crystal, and I really did feel like it was really cool. You had the mad scientist. You had the various different characters, the witches. It really was a good thing. It's when Sailor Moon really started to get, like, really good. And you got her with the Grail here. Not my holy grail for it, but still very good. Of course, the box art with that. And we have our second part, Saturn there. So you got all of them surrounding her at the end. And then, of course, what would it be without its movie with the original dub and sub? Lovely collection. And now we have the counterpart. That is pretty on the artwork, but they do have cooler artwork underneath. They really chose to go with minimalizing things in their artwork on these sets, and I don't know why. I mean, it just is weird. But I'm going to go over a bit. There we go. Because I'm just going to put these back in where they were. Alright, so I got these cards. I thought this was just kind of cool to show off for the Super release. I actually had these on hand, so I said I'll just show these off. But I have the Pegasus series here for Super S, which I'll show those off. I mean, you've got this with the various ones in there, costumes. Here's one of Mercury, my favorite Sailor Scout. Venus. I really love the artwork that they did for these. Pioneer did an excellent job illustrating a lot of these. Not for the first and second series. I've seen the artwork for those. It is basic as all get out, but they really got knocked out of the park as they were moved on. I really do like that because you get to see the characters. They're individualized. I mean, you can see the backs on some of these. I'll show off the back here for this, as you can see. But then, of course, you got, again, I feel like, again, it's sort of basic. It's like, I'm going to show off Sailor Moon. Alright. Alright. Yeah. And then, of course, you got them all together there. Alright. It's all good. It's all good. Then, of course, I have this card set. I think came with one of the other ones. I think it was... Well, I don't know which one this one came with. Yeah, more cards. And, of course, the Super S film. And again, this one's got it all sealed all around, so I don't know if it's got the other stuff below it. I really like the third film. I don't know why. It just... something really cool and fantastical about it. Alright, so now we get into a much shorter section. We've got my bootleg of Sailor Stars. Because we were, and still are to a point, a transphobic nation, we had, unfortunately, no access to Sailor Stars. Because it featured a bunch of these Sailor Scouts who were a boy band, and then when they transformed in, of course, female Sailor Scouts. So, a lot of kind of, like, say, transphobia stopped it, so this was all I had. It's not a terrible looking set. I mean, artwork's pretty nice. I mean, you know, as things go. But it is a terrible set because of the translations. The subs would cut off at a point, so you would miss entire sections of dialogue. I've had other people with this set, the same thing has happened. But this was all you could do. This is all you could do to get it at the time. But that has changed. Of course, I've got my cards. And now we have our plain, but still cool-looking Sailor Moon. I like this costume the best. I think that this is the best of the series. To this day, I consider Stars my favorite of all of the Sailor Moon series. It's just the best written, has the coolest villains. It just overall, it's just an awesome series. And then, of course, this finally came this week. I'm so excited about that. I can finally oust this bootleg, which we're going to do officially in just a moment. See you there. There. Now you see where I've been and where I am today. And that brings me to the second part of Sailor Stars.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. These are very minimal in their design.
These little art cards.
I love the art cards. I had to bring those out. I showed them on my little video that I did in between, but I wanted you to see those yourself because that's pretty cool. I love I love Sailor Galaxia. Sailor Stars is the best of the series, and now I get to do something I've been wanting to do for a long time. Bye-bye.
That was loud.
Yeah, well, it's alright. I don't even care if it's broken. You know why? It's a bootleg. Bootlegs should be thrown out. Bootlegs should not be in your collection if there is a legit release. I was tolerating it. I don't have to tolerate it anymore. So, that was awesome. And Viz, as much as I hate you gouging us on these, I will say this. thank you for finally bringing Sailor Moon back into the mainstream.
One of these days, I'll get them all. One of these days.
I had to do it for the limited editions because the limited editions, some of them are harder to get. And it's just...
I did the pre-order on set 1, and then I kind of fell by the wayside. But I've looked out. The others that I've gotten so far, I've managed to get the limited editions for each of them. Okay, so the next one is one that I know we recently presented as part of a larger set. And to be honest, I want that larger set. But I couldn't pass this up for like $1. And this is a show I really, 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 really need to see. Really need to see. Maybe now that I have part of it, I'll have less of an excuse. And that is David Lynch's Twin Peaks.
Ah, cool.
Season 1.
Wow, that's just a season
edition.
1?
Yeah, it's a special edition, supposedly.
That's pretty cool.
It's a pretty cool looking set. And it's kind of like, you know...
Not good for room saving, but yeah.
No, it's not that great for room saving, but, you know, it opens up with that, you know...
And I did get to take a look at the new series. I mean, I think I'm sure you've seen it around. And it has, of course, just the series. So Firewalk with Me, you would have to get separate.
I do have it. I probably want to get the Criterion anyway, just because.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I said, I'm really curious about this. Even more so because, watch last week's Inside Movies Galore, where we covered Kevin Smith's Clerks. Here's some food for thought for you. When he wrote Clerks, he was really in a Lynchian mood.
Oh, yes, he was.
And partly Twin Peaks was part of the reason why. And apparently the original draft of Clerks would have been much more like a David Lynch film.
God.
Wouldn't that have been something?
You know, though, I'm kind of glad it turned out the way it did, because now Kevin Smith is popular.
Well, some would argue that's a mixed blessing, but yeah.
I think I will one day get that Twin Peaks set, especially if it goes on sale cheap, because I still need to get the other release, and mine's kind of a ratty, kind of that gold release. But any case, so any guesses as to what's in the box?
What's in the box?
Take a guess.
Something fun.
Any real ideas? Did you manage to see me slip at all?
Well, from your hints, I'm guessing it's rare anime that will either make me envious or annoy me because you will no longer be envious.
So, this is something I saw as a lot. I'm going to be presenting it in 4 parts, which is why I went ahead with 6. And you'll get to know right away what it is once I start taking this out.
Yeah.
I thought to myself, I will never get this. It's out of my reach. But eBay presented me this set.
Nice.
And you guys have seen what the box looks like because I am posing with it on the cover art. He's looking at it right now.
Ooh.
But I looked at it. They had this really high offer. I mean, it was like $1,500. And I was like, heck with that. And then I said, I'll just make a lowball offer. I did that.
It's like, that's why I won't have that.
And then I made the lowball offer. It was automatically refused.
Of course.
But then at the end of the sale, this is like the 4th time we tried to sell for this price. They said, well, so you interested in buying for this? I'm like, not really, because I'm going to go into debt for it. But yes. And then I had to look through it, and I had to make sure that everything was in place. So it took me a long time from getting it. Because I've told you about this a long time ago.
Yeah.
But I had to watch the whole thing, and that's a lot of stuff to get through. You'll find out in a minute. So enough of this, right? Let's talk about this. So, go away. While I take this out. So we're going to start with what I consider the first part of this, which I'm backwards. This way. And we're going to start with this part. Bakemonogatari.
Ooh.
So I'm going to run through this in pieces. Now, for some of you following along at home, you'll see you might be like yelling at me like, that's not the right way. No, this is the way I look at it. You can look at it a different way. I look at this as part of 3 seasons and a set of movies. So Bakemonogatari is the first in the excessively expensive Aniplex set. When you see what I've gotten, you can tell me whether you feel that this is worth buying at the discount I got it at the end of the day. Which I'm not telling you viewers. I'll tell you off camera. So it was in the 100 range. It was in this many 100 range. Okay? So you can tell me whether that you feel once I've shown you all of this whether it's worth it, okay? So Bakemonogatari, pretty simple. I'm not going to go too much into my feelings because we're going to talk about that in the vlogcast today. But essentially, it starts us off in the story of this man who's in high school and he sees this girl falling from a high height. And he catches the girl and finds out she's extremely light, at which point she's very pissed off at him and tries to kill him with office supplies. But that's okay because he's a half vampire from when he used to be a full vampire over summer break. Following it well? Yes. So, have you actually read anything or watched any of this series?
I have not gotten to see it. I've read a lot about it, and I want to see it.
So, I mean, it comes with your typical, book, your art cards. Well, this one doesn't have art cards, but you got your, how are we doing poorly, an art book, some of the characters on it, and of course some of the art. And the way it's structured is it's in stories.
Monogatari.
So each, this season is a season filled with different story arcs. So it's kind of easy to pick up and put down if you really want to. So the other part that I consider my reflection of season 1 is Nisemonogatari. Which has kind of got, again, there's a pretty cool set right here. Again, your art book. Very similar to the Bakemonogatari set. I wish they'd continued releasing it like this. But they did do a season 2 set. Which was kind of cool. So you got those characters there. Her and that donut thing again. Cat girl. And just in general. Again, continuing along. This kind of is broken up by the movies if you want to watch them in that order. But from what you've got here, you've got a total of, I believe, let's see, 15 in this set, 11 in this set. So it's not terrible. But I think it's like 100 and some a piece for the Aniplex, so is what you make of it. So that's part 1. Alright, moving on.
Well, it'll be a tough act to follow, so let's bring out a Farrelly Brothers movie.
Oh, God.
So, this one is one I've been meaning to give for a while. It's actually one of the more entertaining ones. It's called Kingpin. It's with Woody Harrelson, Randy Quaid, Vanessa Angel,
Fun movie.
Bill Murray, etc., etc. About bowling. About people that take bowling very, 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 very seriously. And strangely enough, came out the year after The Big Lebowski. It's weird how these things always come in pairs. The Big Lebowski is the better of the two, but this is one I wanted to have, and now I do.
It's a very enjoyable film. I have a copy myself. My next part is something I have as 3 movies and a special because they group together very well storyline. Because these are prequels to the series, to Bakemonogatari. So first off, I love that cover though. It's just really cool. And that is, it's Kizumonogatari Part 1, the Teketsu. So, as you can see, this one comes with art cards. and of course a nice little art book. The animation quality in these films is superb. And of course, you got a little bit of gore there and there. And this really goes back. Remember, we were talking. I said earlier, it's about during the summer he was a vampire and all of that. That happened during this particular summer. So pretty much all of this, if you were to watch the first half of that first season, I would probably, you could follow it up with this and get all the background info. So I gotta put this all back in. Technically it should go like that. But, sorry, this is getting difficult to put in. There we go. There it is. That is just a cool looking set.
Yeah, except I don't really like how it kind of flaps out.
Well, yeah, this technically you would. It's like any of these.
Yeah.
I mean, what do you do with them when they're done? Do you throw them away? Do you keep them?
I
always keep them, but they're always like that. You notice that with any of these that have that like wrap around the top. It's just an unfortunate side effect of that style. So the next one is part 2, Neketsu, which is sort of the blue version of this. Again, we have your art cards, your book. I'm not going to keep rolling out those because the same basic concept, just different pictures, but I will show you the cover art, which is pretty darn cool. Now you can buy these non-special edition, but this is the special edition with the nice shiny blood cover. And then volume 3, which you're going to have to go and get your phone there for a minute, because if I pause this... Well, we resolved that issue. He was talking with his $1 million holdings in the Ozarks, because he's got to run the slumlord business over there.
Oh, no slums, no. It's my Copperhead farm.
In the Ozarks? All right. So the last one is hard to even see because it's just blowout white.
Yeah.
Which is part 3, Reketsu, which is again it ends the story of the vampire arc. And again, you get to see the vampire her full power, and just in general how it goes. Very dark storyline. But a lot of this can be very dark, and I'll again. Go to the vlogcast now. We'll discuss what my thoughts are on the series. And then I wrap this part up with Nekomonogatari Black. Now, during a part of this, one character, specifically this character, turns into a cat girl. And they talk about, well, they've dealt with that before, and they thought they'd been done with it. Well, this tells you what happened at the original part and goes over that story. It's like, I think, a 4-episode arc.
Oh, that would explain why it's usually the cheaper one.
Unfortunately, though, these are like what? Usually up to $70.
Something like that.
Yeah, like $69 for this stuff. So, but yep.
Okay.
That's mine.
Well, and again, I'm going to follow that up with something of such tremendous quality. I think it's on YouGaming, actually.
Oh.
And that's a 2-movie collection. Troll and Troll 2.
Hey, it's worth having.
Yeah. I think you recently did the best worst movie on this, didn't you? So there we go.
Let's see, I have.
Not great films, but fun.
See, I don't have my copy of Troll 2. I mean, Troll with me because I've got it set aside to watch it.
Ah.
It's in the Empire collection, and of course, that's my copy of Troll 2. Upgraded that also to a special edition.
Yes.
This was done after the best worst movie, even as they're featured in the best worst movie.
Nice.
So it's a cool. I like it. It's terrible, but it's terrible in a good way. In a good way.
I mean that in a good way.
All right, so. Season 2 of the series, Monogatari, did come out as a season 2 set, which is probably the more economical way of buying it. But I ended up getting it when it was in the separate. Well, I didn't buy them separately. I got it.
Yeah.
It was given to me in this. I bought it in this. So this is season 2. So we have Nekomonogatari White. This is in order. So you've got these. I think it. Yeah. The cover and the Blu-ray actually matches this, so I'm not bothered taking out. But they all come with art cards. They all come with a little book, a little art book. So, you know, you're getting like all of... The quality is not terrible on these. I mean, you can feel it's not great, but it's not too bad.
Yeah,
it's not $70 great necessarily. I mean, that one is, what, episodes? 5 episodes.
Yep.
This one is 4 episodes, which is Kabuki Monogatari. But you've got that there. This is sort of a side story where they travel in time, so technically it doesn't follow on the main story. But, again, not terrible here. Matter of fact, these two are the same character.
Oh.
So, this one is Otori Monogatari, which, if I recall correctly, yeah, this is an extremely dark storyline right here. And that's another 4 episodes. And when it resolves, it still resolves very darkly, but how it gets there and the way that the revelation's there, it's just really dark. Then you've got Oni Monogatari. Doesn't that look cute? And again with the vampire woman, and that's another 4 episodes. And then finally, a 6-episode series called Koi Monogatari, which you've got here and here. And
Love story.
this one actually, and it is fitting that this ends the series because it wraps up the storyline from this. So it is actually kind of cool to run through that. All right,
Okay.
your last one.
And my last one is another one that is appropriate to do in the wake of our discussion of Clerks. Unlike Clerks, which was critically beloved almost from the get-go, this film was not. The critics hated it with a passion. They reviled it. They said it was a terrible film. Probably almost as bad as the Trolls movies.
What, Yoga Hosers?
But it's a film that has fans who are every bit as rabid as Clerks fans can be for the same reasons. If you have worked, especially if you have worked in a restaurant, you know this, you believe this, you feel this very much. I'm speaking, of course, of the film Waiting.
You haven't had that?
No, I didn't.
Wow.
But, you know, and they've got Ryan Reynolds, Anna Faris, Justin Long.
It was an enjoyable film.
Tom McBride, Louis Guzman.
The sequel was crap, but yeah.
The sequel was watchable, but it was pretty crappy. But this one, again, if you have ever worked in a restaurant, you will get this film. Even if you've not, if you've worked customer service at all, you'll kind of get where they're coming from with this film. It's very true to life, and I don't know why the critics were saying that it was like just this. It makes me wonder whether you really want to go out and eat at a restaurant, but you know. But whatever. It is kind of weird that I didn't have this one before. And technically, I've had it for a while. I've just
So did y'all do all those tricks at the restaurant, especially the part where they did the extra seasoning?
No, I did not do most of that, and I don't believe I've seen most of that. But certain aspects I saw, like the little underage hostess who teases everybody. I've seen that. And then some of the customer stuff. My favorite part in here is you get that redneck dude comes in with his wife. Is like, yeah, I have a bourbon and something like I have a beer and a double bourbon, and she'll have a water. Ah, hell, it's our anniversary. Get her a Pepsi.
Oh, right, yes.
seen those people. But anyway, not a bad film. Don't listen to the critics on this one.
No,
Glad I finally have it.
it's worth it. It's usually very inexpensive, so yeah.
Yep, this entire pile cost me about $5 and probably would cost the average person less than a quarter of any one of these items he's looking at.
So yeah, I was gonna say, I wish that this stuff cost me $5.
Just you wait. I will make it happen.
I'm sure you will. So the last one
Holy
is kind of incomplete, but this is what I have of what I consider season 3, even though it's kind of runs long for that. Mm-hmm. So the first is a 5-episode called Hana Monogatari, which is kind of a cool story about one of the lesbian characters and a former love. And then there is Suki Monogatari, which is another 4-episode run. Those two of the characters there. The doll character. Then Koyomi Monogatari, which is a 12-episode run.
You had some trouble with that.
This one is a bit different, is because most of the episodes in this, they're all short episodes, and they, except for the last 3, are kind of these unrelated side stories throughout the series. And it kind of works out well because it shows the openings for the main characters throughout each one, so each one of them has a different opening going back to some of the earlier parts of the series. And some to the future, which would be this, which is Owari Monogatari, Volume 1. Now tell me, does that look like a good character?
Oh, yeah.
It looks very trustworthy, doesn't she?
Oh, yeah.
So,
You look trustworthy. You should join us.
it's an interesting, very dark set right here, which has, it goes into storylines, which are all multiple episodes. I think this is like around 7 episodes. There are like 6 or 7 episode sets each for these. And then the next one is Owari Monogatari Volume 2, which again has the Shinobu Male set, which has a background of her first minion. And then the 3rd volume, which wraps it up. I mean, this one here, this set here wraps up on a terrible cliffhanger that does not go back to it until this set. And this wraps up the series entirely. But wait, did I say that it was done, though? No, I said it was unfinished. There is an epilogue series called Zoku Monogatari, and that one is coming out in January. So I guess I'm kind of stuck to try and get that one to complete it. But if you were to watch all of this, you would go away pretty satisfied with it. I'm not sitting there going, I need more story. Some people really want it. I've got a couple people who are like, I really hope that they keep releasing these until the day I die because they love the series so much. I'm like, no, it's too expensive.
Yeah, this isn't One Piece that you're talking about. It's not going to go that long.
So I think they haven't covered some of the stuff in the books and the novel series, light novels, but I think it works out well. It has a good end point. You feel like you've made the full journey. I feel like it's wrapped up. So, with that being said, final word. I showed you secretly what I paid for it. Do you feel that was an okay deal for this?
I would say, yeah, probably. I'm sitting here trying to do a mental calculus now. I think you said they were asking $1,500?
Yeah, originally.
That's probably not much more than Aniplex would ask for all that.
Yeah, that would be what you could buy these for almost new.
Yeah. You more than likely you could, because like some of these I've looked at. I know Nickel Monogatari Black is a cheaper one, but still we're talking probably 60 or 70. White is probably going to run you a little more. That complete set that you said there were 4 volumes, I think, that's part of that complete set.
Mm-hmm.
That complete set is what, about $180 if you get
Yeah.
it on the. So you could save a little bit of money there, but yeah, you're still looking at $1,000 easy to get this normally.
You can see where it was hard for me to refuse it when I
Yeah.
said, yeah, it was a substantial discount, and
Yeah.
I couldn't. It was an offer I couldn't refuse.
Yeah, and now that I'm actually looking at it, it's not going to even take as much space as I thought it was going to. I must have this.
You'll get a better deal somehow.
I'll make it happen.
Any case, that was our pickups. Big pickup week this time. And,
Big.
well, for me anyway. So, any case, I hope you've enjoyed it. Like, share, and subscribe. And we will see you on the next one. Unfortunately, that won't be nearly as nice for me. Maybe he'll
Mine
do
will
better.
be good. Mine will be good.
All right. Take care.